Hello everyone and welcome to Q's Views RPG. We're continuing with our monster book series, and today we have Pathfinder's 2nd edition, Bestiary 2. Very cool cover, by the way. Alright, and here we go once again with the table of contents. Very well laid out. Some very cool artwork to get us going with an interesting creature. And real quick, if you'd like to, we'll go ahead and give you an opportunity to take a look at the credits. All right, here we have the introduction. And as before, we're not going to look at every single creature. We're going to have a brief discussion about whatever we encounter. Talk about the creatures, maybe some of them that I've used, some that I haven't used, some that I've thought about using. Maybe get your thoughts and opinion on certain creatures and some of the artwork. Let's go ahead and get started. So as if the first book wasn't enough, technically it wasn't, but it was great. And I know many of us could have run endless campaigns with the first book alone, but they hit us with the second book. And in my opinion, it's very, very fantastic. All right, we'll start off with the creatures. We start off with some Aeons, which we did in the first book. We have some different Aeons this time. How many have used Aeons in a campaign? And what Aeons do you find yourself using if you do use them? And maybe what was the campaign structure behind them? I know for me, Planetars and Solars are classic creatures and have their use. Of course, as we know, these are very powerful creatures and should only be used for the most powerful parties. And even for some of the most powerful parties, Planetars, Solars can mean a swift end. They are really that powerful. Archons are really cool to use. I have used Archons, various ones, like the Star Archon and the Bastion Archon. All these are fantastic creatures. And party destroyers as well, especially if they're used against a party that's not prepared or maybe underestimates, which I don't know any parties yet to have really done that. But still, I mean, if it's properly role-played, given the circumstances, yeah, you never know. Badgers are deadly. It's a creature 0, but don't let that fool you. You know, and that's the other thing too, is do you agree with the ratings that some of these creatures are given? Like, for example, the Bassidurand is a creature 5. Does it really deserve that? Like the Black Basilisk, it's a creature 9. I know for me, like the Black Bear, I don't think creature 2 is appropriate. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I know I've counted some creatures that had a really low rating, but there's something about that creature that makes them a lot more powerful than what the rating leads on. And I think that's happened opposite way too. Sometimes they get an underwhelming rating. You think, oh, this creature is going to be easy, and then it ends up wiping the party. You're like, wait a minute, this thing was rated a 0 and we just all died to it. I don't know if that's really happened, but it sounds to me somebody somewhere may have experienced that. Catoblepas. That's a very interesting way to portray that creature, in my opinion. Chupacabra. That's pretty cool, man. That's a scary, scary picture. I don't care what anyone says. Cockroaches are always scary. I hate those things. Crawling hands, cold weeds. Just so many crazy creatures. And the artwork, I think, is just absolutely fantastic. I think it's every bit as good as the first book in almost every way. We have some more demons. And I know there's, for some, you know, there's a difference between demons and daemons. What is that difference, though? Can someone tell me? Where the D-E-M-O-N versus the D-A-E-M-O-N, or however it's spelled. I might be spelling that backwards. We got different devils. Of course, many of us who've been playing these kind of games know long enough that there's the huge wars with devils versus demons. All right, continue on. I would hate for that thing to give me a hug. Be the last hug you probably ever get, right? Oh man, Devourers, Dig Widget. I've actually never used that. If you've used the Dig Widget, let me know. and what was the context of its use. Seems like a very interesting thing to use. Or this Doprilu. I've never used that either, but it looks crazy. Looks like something that might be a party destroyer. Brine dragons, cloud dragons, crystal dragons. I've always liked the crystal dragons. I've always thought they were really cool. Not only the way they're drawn, but the way they're portrayed in their descriptions and all of that. Of course, what campaign fantasy setting would be complete without the options of dragons? Drainberry bush, that looks very interesting. I've never used that either. Can't say that I have. Drakes of various kinds. The sea drake, which I've always liked that piece of artwork, by the way. Duragur, that's those are pretty cool to use. Of course, we have your various elementals. Again, kind of like the ghosts we was talking about last time. Most elementals, especially like fire, wind, those kinds of elementals, can't really be damaged by corporeal weapons. You need to have something, substantial weapons usually don't do anything. They usually have to have some kind of enchant on them or whatnot to allow them to strike that kind of enemy. Otherwise, just a normal weapon, it just passes right through like flames. How do you strike a flame with an iron weapon? If anything, the iron weapons gets hot and it causes damage to the wielder instead. So here we have the magma scorpions, which are cool. Mephits. I've always liked Mephits, and I like that not only done the Mephits in the regular elements, but they also did the tween elements like steam and smoke. Elephants, fletchlings, flesh warps. So many interesting creatures too. And not only is the artwork really good, I like the design of the stat blocks. I said that in the last book. But I also like the way they're kind of, the information that's given and how they're portrayed. And I think it really helps. Not that other game systems haven't done a great job. They indeed have, in my opinion. I know for some series, like for example, certain editions of certain other game systems, it's been hit and miss in terms of creature presentation, stat blocks, design, and that kind of thing. But I don't know, for me, this is really good. It's really nice, and I think Paizo's always done a great job. All right, here we have some Grimstalkers, Grendels. Gripplies have always been interesting to use, and they've been around forever. Hippocampus, Hippogriffs, Intellect Devourers have been around forever. The Jabberwock, that's a 23. That's crazy. I never looked at the Jabberwock before in here that intently, and I'm telling you, I did not realize that they were that powerful. That's crazy. Chorids have been around forever. Kind of interesting, but I don't know. It kind of looks like he's kind of a party dude, that guy. I'd watch out for him. Leprechauns, Luritans, they look crazy. Creature 21, you don't want to mess with that either. Lucratas are cool. I've always liked Lucratas. They've been around since forever as well, these type of games. And it's always, for me, has always been a classic creature to use, in various situations. So, the Marmora, very interesting. I've never used that, by the way. It looks like some kind of smoke elemental. The Mud Wretch, to me, kind of looks like a more powerful, more dominating, or whatever version of the Mudman, if anybody remembers the Mudman. Mummies, Necrophidius, pretty interesting creatures. The Norns. Norns kind of remind me of the classic mythology Norns. Octopuses can be deadly. Same with oozes and different slimes and molds and jellies. Peritons, that's a very interesting artwork for the Periton. Because the original artworks for some of the other game series, they didn't really look like that. So I think they kind of put their own spin on it, and I think it's quite interesting. I'm not sure if it's all that successful, but it's definitely interesting. So, here we go. Again, the artwork, in my opinion, is just top notch. I mean, I can tell when a piece of artwork is done by a different artist than the other one on the same or opposing pages. But in my opinion, they're not different enough to where it just detracts. At least not from my perspective. Now, if you feel that way, let me know in the comment section. Have you seen artwork in a book, or even in this particular book, from one page to the other, from different artists, so different that it actually detracts from your ability to look through the book or to take in the page the way, or to have the experience with that page that you think you probably should have had? Radiant Wardens, Rays, Revenants, Scarecrows. I've always liked that picture, by the way. And I've always thought this was really interesting. This Skiduanar, I think that's how you pronounce it. If you know better, let me know in the comment section. I've never used those creatures, by the way, either. I've used all kinds of various serpent folk. I'm not sure if there's a serpent folk I haven't used, just because I like them so much. And for me, it's been easy to find campaign settings to put them into where they really do fit and have that genuine feeling of belonging in the campaign because of that. So, slugs, snakes, Spiral Centurion. Now that looks like a deadly thing. Creature 11. Seems to me that something like that would be a lot more deadly than what its rating seems to suggest, just by how it looks. That's just what I'm... Maybe, shouldn't judge books by their cover, but at the same time, sometimes covers can be quite convincing, in my experience. Giant toads, trolls, very stout, very strong looking troll, especially this cavern troll. Looks like something have a very high armor class, and I'm sure it does. All right. Crazy, crazy creatures. Vampiric Mist, that one's been around forever as well. Wow, very cool, very cool. The Evangelist. Yeah, he's going to chain you. He's going to chain you. He's going to get you whether you like it or not. Violet Fungus. That looks crazy. Looks like something I would not want anything to do with, especially that Viper Vine. That doesn't look very friendly and inviting either. More rare creatures. Looks like we got some boars and some tigers. Cairn Whites. Some more variations of the white. Witch Fires. Witch Weird. Zills have been around for a long time. That's for sure. Yellow Musk Creepers have been around for a long time. Yeth Hounds. So a lot of these are quite classic as well. Plus we have dolphins. Rhinos. All kinds of cool stuff. More monsters, more mayhem. More than 300 menacing monsters and fearsome foes await within this compendium of creatures from the world of Pathfinder. From classic adversaries like giants, dragons, and the Jabberwock, to potential allies and servants suitable for summoners of every alignment. This must-have expansion to the Pathfinder Bestiary seized with enemies to challenge characters of any level. So there you have it. The Pathfinder 2nd Edition Bestiary 2. Another fantastic addition, in my opinion, to this monster book series. A monster book series that definitely would not be complete without something from Pathfinder. Again, I don't have the original Pathfinder Bestiary books. I do hope to collect those and do videos on those as well in the future. But thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and we have many more monster books to come from other game systems. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.